Hello, hello. How's everyone doing today? My name is Aditi. I am a master certified life coach and I'm the author of The Self Care Habit, this little baby right here. So today I'm teaching a self care class where we're going to be talking about how to prioritize yourself. So if you are here today, there might be a few reasons why. You may have wanted to prioritize yourself more, but you're not sure exactly where to start or what to do, or maybe even what does that actually look like, right? So today I'm going to break it down for you. Today I'm going to give you some ideas on how to make it super simple for you, okay? Because I know that there's all these ideas of what we should be doing, what we should not be doing, but it's not really that clear and it's not always that easy to do. I see it all the times with my clients. They're like, Aditi, I want to prioritize myself, but I have no idea what that means or where to start. And that's what inspired me to create this class so I can get into a little bit more detail with that for you so you can have a place to get started. Okay, so what I'm going to be going over with you this in today's class is I'm going to be sharing with you the first place to start when you want to prioritize yourself. Where do you start first? Okay, then the second one is going to be about what you need to have more of so you can put yourself first. Okay, and it's not time. You know, many times people think, oh, I know I just need to have more time, um, but I don't have time, etc., etc. All right. So this ends up actually becoming a blocker from putting yourself first by telling yourself, I just need to have more time. But that is not true. And I'm going to show you what it is that you actually do need more of. Okay. And then the third one is how to actually know if you are prioritizing yourself or not, right? Because you may feel like you're doing all the things, right? But something still feels off. So I'm going to tell you how to really know if you are prioritizing yourself, what you can look at, what to actually measure. Okay? So why this topic? Why should I care about prioritizing myself? What's the hoo-ha about it? Well, here are three reasons why you should prioritize yourself. First, it makes you feel better. Who doesn't want to feel better, right? It makes you feel better not only on the outside, but also in the inside. You feel better as a whole human being, feeling better inside and out. Okay? Second is that it reduces stress. Now, we already know that stress is one of the biggest um, epidemics right now that is literally ruining people's lives. People are dying from stress. People are having major chronic conditions from stress, right? We're just caught up in this stress cycle, in this hustle culture. So, prioritizing yourself is going to help you reduce that stress and create some more ease and flow in your life. And third, my favorite, is it makes you happier. Who's not on a chase for happiness? Pretty much every single person is on a chase for happiness. So prioritizing yourself is going to give you that. Okay, it's going to help you feel better. It's going to help you reduce stress and create more ease in your life. And it's going to make you happier. So why am I teaching this? Who am I and why am I qualified to teach this? So first of all, one of the most devastating experiences of my life that I had was that I experienced a half paralyzed phase when I was 20 years old. Okay, so this was a major, major wake up call for me when I realized, wow, like I'm not prioritizing myself. Something is off here. My face just got paralyzed. Like, what? I was only 20 years old. I was like, if I'm this stressed at 20 years old, I still have a lot of life in front of me. So then what? Right? So this was really one of those big wake up calls that happened for me. And I realized something's got to shift because I'm not trying to have this like deteriorating health at such a young age. And what's funny is I was actually doing the things that I was supposed to do externally, but something was still off. And that's the missing piece. And I'm going to talk more about that. Okay. Also, another part of my journey has really been around experiencing deep depression. I experienced multiple pockets of deep depression throughout my life. And the way I got out of it was through prioritizing myself. It was through prioritizing myself. That's the way I actually climbed out of my hole. So the reason I'm so passionate about this work is, one, we don't learn these skills in school. Why? We don't learn these skills at work. We're just taught to work and kill ourselves for the profit of others. And then we just lose ourselves in the process. For what? We're not living on this earth to die, right? Like, I feel like so many people are just living in this zombie state because of the world, because of the pressures on us. So I don't want you to have to wait until you're in a dire situation where now you have to prioritize yourself. You literally don't have a choice, right? We can start doing that now. We can start creating that now. And you'll get so many benefits from it, like those 3 that I mentioned earlier. Feeling better, having more ease, feeling happier. We don't have to wait until we're in a shit situation to really start putting ourselves first. Like, why do we have to wait till an emergency happens before we start? You get to have that now. I think we really have a huge opportunity to shift this in our lives and shift our experience on the planet. And the more of us who start to do this, we're going to inspire others to do it as well. Now, let me be clear about one thing. You know, when people think about prioritizing themselves, they think that means they have to now become like a selfish bee who only thinks about themselves and doesn't consider others. And this is so far from the truth. Because the people who really need this more than ever are often people pleasers. They're already giving. They are already over giving, overflowing. They are the most considerate people possible. You might identify that, whether you identify as a people pleaser or just having some tendencies of people pleasing, where you're realizing you're giving more than you're receiving and you're feeling that imbalance. So no, this is not about being a selfish bee and not being considerate of others, okay? Not at all. You're already a considerate being for being here. You know in your heart that something might feel off a little bit, and that's why you want to put yourself first. Most people's mind go there when we talk about this kind of work. You know, you've heard the idea of, oh, self-care is selfish. No. Self-care is necessary for health, happiness, and abundance. It is not selfish. Because when you are in a good place, then you can give even more. Prioritizing yourself is really about creating space for you because you are the most important person in the world, right? Think about someone who you love so much, a friend, a family member, someone you really care about. How do you treat them? How do you care for them? How do you talk to them? Right? Most of us don't treat ourselves that same way. And I want to invite you to do that. You'll be happier for it, and so will the people around you. Everyone benefits from a happy person because that energy just exudes and it like has a domino effect on people. It's inspiring. People are like, good for you. You inspired me to do XYZ too. I hear that all the time. All right, so we talked about the 3 things that I'm going to be sharing today, right? The first place you're going to start in prioritizing yourself, what you need more of, and then 3, how to know if you're prioritizing yourself or not. So let's start with number 1. The first place to start when you're prioritizing yourself is getting super clear on what does that mean for you. Because we are all different. We all have different lives. We all have different levels of energy, different levels of emotional capacity. We all have different strands of DNA, different generational trauma, different things we're working through, all types of different things. So this is not going to be the same for everyone. So you want to be clear for yourself, like, what does prioritizing myself mean? What does it mean to put myself first? And if you have like a completely blank mind and have no idea what that even means, I don't even know how to know what that means for me. Think about the times where you have not prioritized yourself and it was super obvious. Start backwards from there. Like, I can probably think of 100 times where I did not put myself first, and I put myself in a situation where I found myself having resentment, feeling depleted, feeling angry, being mad at myself for not having maybe followed my intuition about like not going to a certain event, or maybe not calling this person who I felt might like drain my energy. Right? So start to think about the times where you did not prioritize yourself and you felt like all those emotions. You're like, I should have not done that, or I should have listened to my heart, or I shouldn't have done that, right? So think about those places, and that can help you start to see, like, what does it mean to prioritize yourself? Like for me, one of the things that I prioritize with myself is my energy. Like, where do I want to give my energy? Do I have the energy to, go to this engagement today? Or maybe I want to preserve it for this instead, right? We all have a limited amount of energy each day. So where do we want to put it? This is one of my favorite things in prioritizing myself that has really helped me navigate situations, make better decisions, help me really put my energy towards things that truly light up my heart, that truly make me happy. So that's just one example, right? Prioritizing your energy levels, preserving your energy for what really matters to you, right? There might be like some events that just feel really stressful, but at the same time, it means a lot to you. Maybe it's a family event. Like maybe there's things going on and it makes it a little difficult. And in a normal sense of prioritizing myself, maybe you wouldn't go to that because you're like, oh, it just doesn't make sense logically. But at the same time, it's something that really matters to you. So you're like, no, I'm going to make time for this. So like I said, it's going to be different for everyone. And most people prioritize them, or they think that prioritizing themselves means like going to a yoga class, having some me time, which definitely is, but it's not the only. So I want you to think deeper, go a little bit deeper with the layers of what this truly means for you. And if you need support with that, because I know like for some people, they may be like, I don't know, I still don't know. I can help you with that. So just reach out to me, okay? So the question you want to ask yourself is, what does prioritizing myself mean to me? That is the question for that first part. The first place to start is to get super clear on what does prioritizing myself mean to me. Okay, there's no right or wrong. So just allow yourself to use that as a journal prompt after this class today. Okay, so next, what do you need more of to put yourself first? I hear this all the time, like, oh, if I just had more time, I need more time. 24 hours in a day is just not enough, right? All the things. But it's not time. What you need more of is, drum roll, you need more courage. You need more courage to put yourself first, because a lot of people in this world are not putting themselves first. And when I say world, it's honestly more likely than anything else, the United States, because of the hustle culture that is created in this country. So you need courage to say no. You need courage to go against the grain. You need courage to ask for help. You need courage to put yourself first, because you won't see it as a common thing as much. Now it's starting to slowly pick up more as people are starting to learn the importance of putting themselves first. But for the most part, like you're going to be a unique person for putting yourself first, which is crazy because it is such a buzzword. Everyone talks about self care, but I think we're still very wired in our old habits of people pleasing, of over giving, of doing what society tells us we should be doing rather than really tuning into our hearts. So, the question you want to ask for this is, where can I have more courage? I hear this all the time, especially with corporate professionals when it comes to like asking for something at work, whether it's asking for a day off, whether it's asking for an adjusted schedule, and they're just too scared to ask because they're afraid of what it's going to make them look like. They're afraid of the no, which is why you need to have the courage. And I promise you, you'll be surprised at the things that are possible once you ask. I have been able to ask for so many exceptions for things just because I have started to build the courage more and more over the last 5 to 10 years to be like, hey, can I have work from home Fridays, or can I have an adjusted schedule that's not the same as everyone else? And here's the reasons why. So, what you need more of to put yourself first is courage. And it may not even always be asking someone else, it may be just giving yourself permission to go do that thing. Because maybe you just didn't have the courage to even, like, I don't know, go to something that you really feel called to go to, but you just had too much anxiety about it. You were really nervous. So having the courage to go do those things that are a priority for you. Okay, and then third is going to be how to know if you're prioritizing yourself or not, how to measure it. Now, you may be like, well, the way to measure it is just to know if I'm doing this thing or not. Am I going to yoga class? Am I, asking my boss whatever? Am I going on my nature walks? Like whatever it might be. But that's actually not the way you're going to measure. How you're going to measure is you're going to measure your fulfillment levels. Do I feel fulfilled right now? Because think about it, right? You can be a super busy person, but feel fulfillment and feel content because your life is actually aligned to what matters to your priorities. Or you could be a super busy person and be drained and depleted, hate your life, just want to disappear. Like in this scenario, you're not prioritizing yourself. Even though it seems like it because you're doing all the things that society is doing, that people are telling you to do. It's like, oh yeah, like I'm doing all the things, but why do I still feel empty inside? There's a part of you, which I think is the most important part of you, that is not being catered to, that is not being seen, that is not being heard, that is not being nurtured. So, how to measure if you are prioritizing yourself or not is measuring your fulfillment level. Now, you may be like, how do I measure my fulfillment level? I don't even know what that means. It's a muscle you're going to build. Okay? So, the more you really get in tune with your internal emotional landscape, the more that you'll be able to know that, oh, this feels right, this doesn't feel right. Even though on paper this feels like the right thing, internally it does not feel like the right thing. So you'll start to feel like when you feel fulfilled, when you don't feel fulfilled. I'll give you a story. Actually, I wrote in the self-care habit. I forget what chapter it was in, but it was around, I think maybe it was around recharging yourself. But I talk about how I went to lunch with a friend, an old friend, and when I was leaving, I was driving my car going home. This was back in Jersey, and I felt hot. I felt like tipsy or high or something. Like I was like, Like I had to take a moment to be like, did I drink at lunch? Because why do I feel tipsy? Like, what is happening right now? And so I was like, I was literally like thinking for a second, like, oh, like, let me get it together. Like, I'm on the road. Like, did I drink? And I scanned through my lunchtime with my friend, and we did not have any alcohol. Like, we were both like in the middle of our workday. Like, we met for lunch, and then we were going back to work at home. So I was like, I didn't have alcohol. So why do I feel like I'm buzzed? And I realized I was high on life. That lunch and that meeting with my childhood friend was so fulfilling for me. I was like, oh my God, this feels so good. And it made me realize how much I don't have that fulfillment in my life. I'm literally just living life and it just all feels like a drag. It just all feels like a drag. So that's how I was able to start measuring my fulfillment levels, because I was like, do I feel that feeling? Or do I not feel that feeling? Or do I feel dead and depleted? Right? So that's how you're going to start to measure, like, am I fulfilling myself? It will let you know if you're prioritizing yourself or not. I think we have a skewed idea of prioritizing yourself in terms of, physical health is something that is focused on a lot, right? But you can have the perfect physical health and like not be fulfilled at all and feel empty inside and like want to disappear. I have so many clients who are doing all the things that they're supposed to do. They're meditating, they're going to yoga, they're journaling, they're just all the things. But there's something that just feels empty, something that just doesn't feel right. And it's like, well, I am prioritizing myself, but why do I still feel like shit? Why am I still not happy? So this is the missing key right here, measuring your fulfillment levels. So ask yourself, like, what fulfills me? And again, you might not know what fulfills me because a lot of us have been kind of in this robotic society where we don't even have access to that feeling. Like, that's a privilege because we've just never been taught to prioritize that. So it's okay. Now you have the opportunity, if you feel a calling to move towards doing more of that work, you're going to start asking yourself this question. And you can even start with, again, the places where you don't feel fulfilled. Okay, where do I not feel fulfilled? At my job, in my relationship, where I live, in my hobbies. I don't know. Start to investigate all of it. And not feeling fulfilled somewhere doesn't necessarily mean you need to change it completely, like change your job, change your relationship, change where you live. But you might have an opportunity to shift what you're focusing on, maybe where you're spending your time. I'll give you an example. Like, I absolutely love my work. I love my work so much. And I contract with a company and I do life coaching for a psychedelic therapy company, okay? And there's definitely been moments where there are parts that I didn't enjoy doing, some of the admin tasks and etc. And it was just like, okay, like the non-fulfillment of the admin task was taking over the fulfillment of doing the life coaching work. And so once I became aware of that, I was able to create a process for myself where I was able to focus more on the parts that fulfill me. And then maybe the parts that I don't, I was able to batch those tasks together so it wasn't taking up my entire day. And then I was feeling depleted and tired. So same job, same work, same kind of clientele. Nothing actually changed except my relationship with the work and the way I kind of prioritized where I was doing things, how I was doing things. Game changer. Okay, so it really is about just asking yourself these questions so you can figure out like where are the areas you're not prioritizing yourself, where can you more of. And I don't want you to get lost in the idea of doing like, oh my God, like I have so much work to do now. I realize I feel dead and depleted and now I have to change everything about my life. No. First of all, I love 1% wins. So we always celebrate 1% wins. 2, baby steps. And 3, I promise even just a shift in perception can shift your experience in something. So it doesn't necessarily mean you need to do all the things, you need to change all the things. What you need to do is gain the awareness. The awareness will guide you. So that's why I'm giving you these questions to help you kind of get a little bit of navigation on what's coming up for you here. And I invite you to journal on these questions today after this class or this weekend. And if you want to chat through, what came up for you, I'm happy to chat through it with you. So feel free to send me a message. This will be complimentary as a part of this class. I would love to, see what came up for you and see where we go from there. And I'm happy to offer you any insights that come up as we chat about it. Because sometimes it's just easier to talk to someone than just be all in your head about it. Okay? And if you want actual support with this, if you are looking for a life coach, if you've been wanting to work with a life coach, or maybe now you're intrigued about, I think I need a life coach. Let me be your person. If you feel connected to me, if you feel connected to my work and my teachings, I would love to be your life coach this year. I am taking new clients in this moment, and I have a special program that I created for you called Putting Me First. So it's going to take this work to the whole next level. And in Putting Me First, it's more of a starting program. So I do have longer length programs if you wanted to work with me one-on-one. And if you're interested about that, send me a message and we can talk about it. But this specific one that I'm talking about is a short starter kind of kickstart. It's like a jump start, okay? To kind of just get your ducks in a row, to help you get that clarity, to get that clear vision. And it's going to be 4 weeks of support. So you're going to have accountability and support with me. I'm going to give you tips. I'm going to give you guidance. I'm going to walk you through creating a self-care roadmap for yourself that you can kind of carry out this year. So you have a starting place. You have some direction. You have some places to go and things to do. Okay, I know doing this work can be confusing sometimes. It can feel kind of vague, but working with a coach, or if you have a therapist you already work with, working with some sort of professional can really help you dig deeper into this stuff. I work with a therapist myself. I work with a coach myself. And even just yesterday, I met with my therapist and I got so much clarity about stuff that was jumbled up in my head that was just giving me so much anxiety and overwhelm. And I just was not able to sort it out by myself. But when I was talking it through with my therapist, it became so clear to me. I was like, oh, wow, I see what's happening here. This is what I need to do. This all makes sense now. And I was able to alleviate the stress that I was in, and it made a huge difference. And then I was getting clarity for myself on how I need to prioritize myself in some things I'm going through right now. And that's the other thing. How you prioritize yourself is going to shift depending on the phase of life that you're in, right? So if you have some more intense things going on, you might need a little more prioritization in certain areas. Or if things are kind of flowing right now for you, it's kind of like a peaceful period in your life. Maybe you're prioritizing yourself by trying new things that you didn't have the emotional capacity to do before. So like I said, it's different for everyone, and I would love to help you uncover what that is for you. If you enjoyed this class, subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be teaching more self-care classes here, and I would love to have you be a part of it. This is really my life's mission, because my mission is to create happier people. I don't know what it is, but ever since I was younger, and I was always into psychology, I was always into chasing happiness, chasing your dreams, and I became obsessed with helping people become happy. Even in my 20s, I would be talking to people at work events, asking people what really lights you up? Screw this job that you're just doing for a paycheck to pay your loans. Tell me what really fulfills you, what lights you up. What would you do if you didn't have to worry about money? And I love helping people align to their true souls and what really feels good for them. So I would love to support you on your journey. I don't know if I can drop the link here, but I will drop it in an email. So if you're not already a part of my community, you can sign up at adithicreative.com/self-care notes. Okay, so this is going to help you get signed up to my community list. And I send self-care tips every month, so you'll get those. Those are complimentary. And then you will also get an opportunity to get the link of putting me first, which I will send to you as well. I wonder if there's a chat. I swear there was a chat box here. And maybe I got that wrong. Let's see if I can drop the link in here for you. Or maybe not. All right, just sign up for my email list if you're not already on it. If you are on it, then you will be getting that link, so you can check out the Putting Me First. And if you're like, I would like to talk to you first to decide if this is the right thing for me, happy to talk to you. We can hop on a call and chat about all the things. I would love to. Oh, I see the chat. Oh, hi, Judith. Okay, huge aha, having the courage to disappoint someone. Yeah, absolutely. Just sign up for my email list if you're not already on it. If you are on Okay, I just opened up the chat. So now I can pop the link in there. So I was able to find it. Let's see if I can find it here now. Okay. All right. It should be this link, aditticreative.com/PMF. But in case it's not working, here's the other link. So you can just click that, and that will take you to the information about putting me first. And I just realized I don't actually have a link there to book a call with me. So I will add that to that page so you can book a call with me to chat more. And actually, I had a picture here too that I wanted to show you because it kind of demonstrates, what happens also externally for you when you put yourself first. Let's see if I can share my screen here. Okay. Okay, so this is a picture where I think it's maybe a year apart or maybe 2 years apart. I'm not sure. But basically, nothing has changed in terms of, my weight or anything appearance-wise. It was literally just me putting myself first internally that created such a shift in how I looked externally, which was insane. So on the left, I look pretty like dead and depleted. You can kind of just see it in my face. And like over here, I look really vibrant. I look really alive. And this is like when I really started doing that work. So on the left is where I was really just doing a lot of people pleasing, really catering to everyone else's needs and everyone else's expectations of me. Whereas on the right, I really started to put myself first. So you can see a huge difference. And then I did have a weight loss journey later on, and you can see a big difference there. And honestly, it was, yeah, everyone always has the physical tips to do, but it was so much more than that. It was really the internal work that I did energetically of putting myself first that made the huge difference. Because on the left, I was doing all the things that society told me to do, all the things that I needed to do to survive in this world, and it just wasn't working for me. I was carrying a lot of emotional baggage. I was hating my life. There were a lot of things I liked too, but it just wasn't aligned to my soul. And once I really started moving into more of, who I truly am inside, is when things started to shift. So I wanted to share that with you so you can get an idea of, what it can look like when you are really putting yourself first, internally and externally. All right, it has been an absolute joy to spend this time with you. And if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to pop it in the chat if you'd like. Let's see if I can. Okay, so I have the chat open. If you have any questions, feel free to pop it in there. I'm about to wrap it up here. You can also leave a comment under the video as well. And this has been super fun. So happy Friday. Have a wonderful day. And if you're watching the replay, whatever day of the week it is, have a wonderful rest of your day and keep in touch. And I would love to invite you to be part of the Putting Me First program if it calls your name. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.